Okay, so when a team benches its franchise player, the superstar they've literally built their entire future around, you just know there's a story. But with LaMelo Ball and the Charlotte Hornets, that story is probably not what you're thinking. Let's break down what's really going on with one of the NBA's most electrifying talents.
I mean, one minute he's the face of the team, the guy on all the posters, the next, he's coming off the bench. It was a move that had everybody scratching their heads and scrambling for an explanation.
So, was this some kind of punishment? Was the coach trying to send a message? Or was there something else going on entirely behind the scenes? That's the question we're going to dig into right now.
And boom, it all kicked off with this simple but pretty stunning report. For the first time all season, LaMelo Ball was not in the starting five. And of course, the immediate thought, the obvious assumption, pointed straight to his performance on the court.
And hey, on the surface, that theory seemed to hold water. I mean, every player hits a slump, right? And LaMelo's recent numbers were definitely a little bit concerning.
So the story that everyone ran with was his shooting woes. You know, when a star player struggles, sometimes a coach has to shake things up. It's a simple, easy to understand reason. Plausible.
Let's get into the actual numbers here. In the 4 games right before the benching, he was shooting just over 40% from the field. Now, that's not like a total disaster, but for a guy of his caliber, that's a dip you're going to notice. And his three-point shooting was even more of a worry, dropping below 35%. For a dynamic scorer like Ball, yeah, those are red flags. But, and this is a big but, here's where the story takes a turn. I mean, you have to ask, right? Do you really sideline your most important player, your cornerstone, over a few bad shooting nights? For pretty much any team in the league, the answer is going to be a hard no. And that's our cue that the shooting slump, that was just a symptom, not the real problem. Okay, this is where we get to the real heart of it. The actual issue wasn't about how he was playing. It was a much, much deeper concern about if he could play at all. This is the absolute key to understanding everything. The benching wasn't a snap reaction to a bad week of basketball. It was a calculated move driven by years of frustrating and, frankly, career-threatening injuries. Just look at this number, 58. Over the 2 seasons right before this one, LaMelo Ball played in just 58 out of a possible 164 regular season games. Think about that. That's just staggering. It means he missed more than 100 games.
And this timeline here just lays it all out perfectly. This isn't one freak accident we're talking about. It's a persistent, nagging problem. Ankle issues have just plagued him season after season. So the Hornets had to realize if they wanted their star player for the games that truly mattered, they couldn't just keep doing the same old thing.
Which brings us to the actual plan. See, this wasn't a punishment at all. It was a strategy, a really unusual one, designed to solve their single biggest problem. How do you keep LaMelo Ball on the court?
So the official term for it is workload management. Basically, the whole goal, according to all the reports, is to find a way for him to play in both games of a back-to-back set, something that's been a massive challenge for him because of that injury history.
So here's how this unconventional plan works. He starts the first game, business as usual. Then, in the second game, on the very next night, he comes off the bench. The thinking is, by limiting his minutes early in that second game, he'll be fresher and more available for when it really counts, the fourth quarter. So it all boils down to this simple choice. Do you have LaMelo for one full game and risk him having to sit out the next one completely? Or do you try to manage his minutes so you can have him on the court for the crucial moments of both games? It's a weird trade-off for sure, but one the Hornets clearly felt they had to make. So why go to such strange lengths? Why this whole complicated plan? Well, all you have to do is look at where the Hornets are in the standings to understand just how high the stakes are.
They're on the outside looking in, but they are not out of the race, not by a long shot. At 13-24, they're sitting in 12th place, but they're only 4 games back from that final spot in the play-in tournament. So for them, every single game counts.
And that's the dilemma, right? That's the tightrope they're walking. Short term, yeah, you risk messing with team chemistry and rhythm. Benching your star is never a good look. But the long-term goal? That's everything. It's about having a healthy, effective LaMelo Ball on the floor if and when they make that late-season push for the playoffs.
It's a massive bet on health over tradition. A really fascinating attempt to manage a fragile superstar in a league where, let's be honest, availability is often the best ability. And it leaves us with one huge question. Is this unconventional plan going to be remembered as a stroke of genius or just a desperate gamble that didn't pay off? I guess only time will tell.